My name is Michael.
My name's Anthony.
And it's like about a half an inch longer.
You still gotta get those kegs.
Come at me, you old bitch. Eat this damn seat. That's the show, everybody.
Good afternoon, evening, everybody, and welcome to the latest episode of MMA's Excellent Adventures, where my name is Anthony.
My name is Michael.
And we are going to tell you about a bunch of stories. Because since we're leading up to the legendary 100th episode, we wanted to do a little recap, which should come out right before this one comes on out.
That's right.
But make sure you take a look at that, just because that's a recap of all of our stories and descriptions. But if you just missed those, no worries. We're going to be covering all of the episodes leading up to episode 100 here on this show right now.
So what we are going to be doing, we're going to be ranking them.
Oh, yeah.
A classic tier list ranking.
Making a tier list of episode 1 all the way to episode 99. And we are going to jump through chronologically from episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we are going to be rating them from F tier all the way up to excellent tier. And so that's what we're going to be talking about. So basically, it's just your classic tier list. But before we do any of that, Michael, how are you feeling so far? Doing okay?
I'm feeling pretty good. I will say that little intro opening for all of you out there. 'Tis the season. I've been in the spirit of Halloween.
Spirit of Halloween,
and
I'm in the spirit of Thanksgiving.
The opening with let's say the opening was a little nod to the hit classic Sleepaway Camp. So for all you big Sleepaway Camp fans out there you go.
I can't wait to hear what this is, because we didn't have any sound playing during this bit at all.
No, but the face I was making.
Oh, that's what. Oh, I thought you were gonna make a new song based off of Sleepaway Camp. And I really hope you're the one doing this, because I'm not doing that.
No, I'm not.
Nah, okay, whatever.
The face is all they get from me.
Yeah. I've been looking forward to this tier list for the past couple of weeks, just because I want to. I mean, during our descriptions last week, I did not remember half of those at all. And so I got a chance to kind of flip through a little bit, but I'm sure once I see the title and the description, they'll all start clicking left and right for me again.
99 is a lot of stories.
It's a lot of those stories over the course of like over 3 years now.
Yeah.
Which is super weird. Has it been 3 years?
Almost.
2020, 2021, 2022. So when this comes out, it'll probably be close to our first recording day ever, because we recorded it in the middle of October for our first episode, but it came out in November. So just a little bit of history for you history buffs out there.
That's right. Yeah. We're getting close on our 3-year anniversary.
Yeah. We've been together for 3 years. Isn't that sweet? And we have 2 kids together.
We do.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. You birthed them all yourself.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Who's to say?
Who's to say? Well, Michael, what do you say? Should we jump on into this tier list here and see how we're doing?
I think when it comes to 1 through 99, myself, you, and the audience are feeling fine. Finally reaching through their screens with their ears, saying, for the love of God, boys, give me those tears and
tear me a story. This is a legendary episode. We're not going to get another tier list until episode 199.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
don't
buckle
in. Buckle in
about it.
So let's start with episode 1 right here. Episode 1 was our famous, world famous, some would say, poltergeist and prenups.
Absolutely.
So Michael, you were the creator of the very first episode we ever shot. Tell me.
Yes.
What went through your mind? Well, first off, the description here.
So the description for episode 1, Poltergeist and Prenups, is John, a recently divorced man, has to stop at a hotel that happens to be haunted.
Oh, yeah.
So while he's there, the ghosts are haunting him about his divorce. He's very weepy. It was a beautiful performance from Anthony.
Oh, yeah.
He thinks there's a Katy Perry concert, which he completely made up.
Yeah.
He stops at the Holiday for a snackerino and gets berated about his divorce.
And I'm just like, how do they know about my divorce? That's so rude. That's so sad.
Know, John. We all know. And then it ends up with him waking up in his car thinking it was all a dream, but then written on the windshield in big letters is divorce.
Divorce.
And that's how it ends.
And that's it. So the ghost haunted him because he was just a loveless bitch.
He was a loveless
bitch.
And,
He was kind of self-centered too. We learned, I think, in that episode. We find out that do we find out why he got divorced? I don't think we find out why, but you could definitely tell.
You can tell.
You could tell why. So yeah, based off of the musical track for this too, we had some music and some ambient sounds in the background too. I really enjoyed the good old days where we would spend like hours adding just like the right sound to it. Plus, it also features the first use of our iconic Emily and Michael's Excellent Adventures soundtrack. I forgot about that.
Oh yeah, we our original intro that, gosh, we only used it for
like 8 to 10 episodes.
Yeah,
or something.
Not
like
a very long time.
I remember because we had Austin on the show not super long after our first few episodes came out, and he remembered the first one, and then like 2 weeks later we had the new one, and he was like, "Oh, what's going on with that?"
Yeah. So, but yeah, episode 1. Anthony, what are you feeling for a ranking for this?
I feel like it's got to be, since we were still kind of fuddling around and figuring out what kind of stuff we were doing and how the show was going to kind of work, I'm going to have to say that's an A tier for me.
A tier. I think, it was a good start. I think it was a good start coming out of the gate there. We've certainly improved, but in the context of, us starting and figuring out what the show is.
A tier. Absolutely. So we're going to put it right here. A. Okay. Now we're on to episode number 2.
Episode 2, Single Dads and
Corn Dog Chats. 100%. So since this is my first premise I ever made, I just love the idea of, I just thought an amusement park theme would have been kind of fun, but this story features our very famous Smanson, who pops up in later episodes too, but Smanson, so basically the single dad who has been in prison for most of these kids' lives, learns the value of fatherhood by learning his kids' names, learning what they like, and ultimately learning how to gain their respect through tax evasion. Yeah. And that's pretty much episode 2. But I personally love this episode just because it is fun. It's silly. It's exciting. We started, that was the first we started doing silly voices and stuff too.
That was. And it also was, it was a good relief because after episode 1, it was like, okay, that now throwing it over to you. So it was like, now Anthony's hosting. Oh yeah. Let's see how the chemistry is if you bounce it back and it landed, and just having that work out was so good.
And that's the pre-PowerPoint days too. So we're just visualizing this as well.
It's all just talking. Walking
through. Which is like real improv at that point.
Right.
Cool. So
it was a while before we started faking
every single thing. Everything's scripted now. But yeah, I gotta put this in the excellent tier personally.
Okay.
I think, well, scratch that. That's still an A tier. A tier. We have to save excellent for top tier.
I would say A tier.
A tier.
I
want to get carried away.
It's a step above, I think, episode 1. I do think it's definitely better, but I'd still put it in A tier.
A tier. All right. So A tier. And so on to episode 3, Super Mega Ultra Jumbo Deluxe. Podcast description for this: in this captivating episode of M&A's Excellent Adventures, join hosts Michael and Anthony as they embark on a delightful journey to answer the timeless conundrum: how much pumpkin is too much pumpkin? And if I remember right, this is a first date episode.
Yes.
Where we're wandering through and you just want the biggest fucking pumpkin in the entire space.
I remember it being different every time. The name of the
Oh,
pumpkin,
yeah, the name of the pumpkin
it was like, oh, the super mega ultra pumpkin, the jumbo deluxe pumpkin. It was never the same.
Never the same. Super quadruple excellent.
Yeah. So it just continued to get more and more ridiculous of what we would call it. But yeah, it was a couple on a date at a pumpkin patch and just insisting on getting the biggest pumpkin.
One of our first double date or single date episodes too.
Yeah.
I got a handful of those.
Yeah.
That's definitely up there.
That was
definitely up
there.
So yeah, I gotta say that personally for me, like since it's the first in his class, I'll give it like a B.
Yeah.
I don't remember anything super exciting about it other than your character is a total bitch. And
yeah, I might give it a C.
A C.
Just because
I was thinking C. I thought it'd be too harsh.
I think C because not we've done the whole couple going on a date thing.
Mm-hmm. We've done so much better,
and
that's true.
Yeah, better, more memorable.
C
There's
tier.
really no memorable lines or a lot of moments from this. I mean,
Not really.
I mean, it was a fun episode. It was still like, we were feeling pretty good about things as it was going along. But just, not as impactful, especially compared to some later date stories. But it was still a fun one.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So then moving on to the next one here, episode 4, Without a Hitch. This was the first time we ever had any kind of reoccurring character.
Very early.
It was very early episode 4. We were already running out of ideas.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what.
But in the episode description, Anthony and Michael stumble through the struggles that every bride and groom fear for their wedding day, and of course,
a interjection during the ceremony. Is that what everybody fears?
I think it was just I couldn't.
Oh wait a minute!
I was the bride, and I couldn't stand the groom.
You couldn't stand, and you also couldn't find me. I don't think because I was
you're still partying for the bachelor party, and then the end. I run away with the maid of honor.
That's what it was.
Yeah, we ride off into the sunset together.
What happened is you call me, and I am still belligerently drunk in the bachelor party, and it's just awful. And you're getting real pissed, and so you run away with the maid of honor, but not before somebody kicks down the altar door, and John, the bawling character from episode 1, busts on in. And
busts a nut.
Oh, he busts something, right? And he just confesses his love for Melissa. And I guess we had 2 recurring characters.
We did.
Because, the story was Melissa was getting remarried after divorcing bitchy John.
Yep. And it was very shortly after divorcing. I think I knew you, the groom, for a week or something. Like it was a very short period of time.
But sometimes if you know, you know. So
where would you rate that one, Anthony?
That one's got to be, honestly, that's like, considering the soundtrack on that, and we've put a lot of time into the audio, I'd give that like a C+ or B. B minus, C+. Can we do that?
Yeah.
We
could do that. Yeah. So like right in the middle.
I'm saying B minus or C+.
Yeah.
So, all right. Pretty awesome. Pretty all right. Pretty
right
good.
on.
So then, next up, our most controversial episode of all time, episode 5, Trains and Back Pains, the tale of super scoliosis with Nathan from Ducky Productions.
That's right. This is our first guest spot.
Our first guest spot, we accidentally doxed him, and most importantly, we got a lot of Facebook comments because the character had 2 powers. He could inflict polio
and scoliosis.
But mainly polio is what we focused on.
Yes.
And the whole episode surrounded really just polio with the occasional scoliosis diagnosis. And honestly, it was one of those things where it was very wild and zany. My personal favorite part about it was Smanson comes back and we find out he's like this ultra superhero kind of type of character. Super villain.
He joined the villain.
The way we fucking killed him, I love it just because of the fact that Scolio Man with the ability to twist stuff essentially is all he can do. He has the power to twist things up. He twists up the train tracks, I think, right? And the train derails and murders everybody on board, but just to kill Smanson.
Yeah.
Or so we think.
Or so we think.
And Nathan steals the show in this episode.
Absolutely
stole the show. We gotta get him back on the show. He's too good. He's too funny.
It was hilarious, a ton of fun. That was before we had the proper equipment, so the three of us shared a microphone.
We shared one microphone, and Nathan sat in a beanbag chair.
Yep.
And at the end, he said, "Yeah, that was fun and all, but next time, if you have another guest, you should kind of give them an idea of what they're gonna walk into. What the experience is gonna be like." Because he was worried we would just have a beanbag chair for some random guest, which I'm really glad he was looking out for us.
I know.
It was that moment on. We both went, maybe we should get multiple microphones.
Yeah,
and
we should beef it up a bit.
We should have a set. We should have a space to record all this stuff, and
so it went from there. But a very fun episode.
I love this episode. I think the premise is wild. I think the acting is really spot on. That's pretty great. Where would you put this, Michael?
Gosh, honestly, I would give it either a high B or a low A.
I'm gonna give it a solid A tier. Maybe I'm generous.
Okay, hey, that's okay.
That's a solid A tier.
It's our first guest, which is a monumental step.
He crushes it.
He crushes.
Absolutely. You know what? Actually, now that I think about it, I'm gonna demote this down to B plus, specifically because I did not do too much acting outside of Smanson because we didn't really know how to do characters.
Yeah,
it was just the two of us. So I'm giving that a B plus, demoting it down from A to B plus.
Still a good episode. It was very funny, chaotic, crazy.
Absolutely,
and Smanson at his finest
for sure. All right, episode 6.
Episode 6, we've got Crossing the Line. In that episode, we explored the magical world. I remember this premise: the magical world of late night Greyhound buses.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, you just travel across state lines with handsome hotshots and goofy goobers in this wonderfully odd tale. I remember this episode for 2 things. I remember a character that was like, I don't know if my character slighted or did something that offended him, and he was sprinting after the bus and keeping up with it. But also, it gave me an opportunity. I always felt like I was playing kind of a more straight character, or like I wasn't like fluctuating enough. I was a little bit more dry, and so that character would get heated and like start raising his voice a ton. That stuff like really getting
Gary. His name was Gary.
Yeah.
And I remember this very, very well because we were recording and it just got outrageously loud really quick. But what happened was, if I remember right, the character, Gary, was just practically living on the bus. He just kind of traveled wherever. And I was trying to be friends with you and you were not having it. And so we stopped for a break at like a truck stop for like 10 minutes. And we're going and getting snacks at a holiday, probably. And you go on and you basically say, "Wait here, Gary, I'm pretty sure," or something like that. And I wait for you. And then you just hop on the bus and it leaves. And I'm so pissed. I sprint. Yeah. So I'm pretty sure he was just doped up on meth and he just ran so fast with the bus. And so
it was terrifying.
It was terrifying. Very fun episode. I'm giving it a C plus right there.
Yeah.
E minus C plus.
Yeah. I'd say that's a fair. I'm going to throw it in a C tier.
In a C tier.
It's funny. It was a lot of energy. It was fun. It didn't reinvent the wheel. And again, it's one of those things where it's like, there's not a whole lot of major tropes or anything that carried on to different episodes as time went on.
That's fair.
But still, a blast. I finally got to get a little crazy with the character.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. So we're going to give it a nice brand spanking. We'll just give it a solid C.
A solid C. Solid C tier.
So with that being said, episode 7. This was a user or submitted episode.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
My lovely wife.
Yeah. Your wife submitted our first emailed premise. That's what I was looking for. Premise.
Yeah.
This is called M&A and the Puppy Paradise. And there's no space between M&A, I don't think.
No.
I don't think so. But yeah, M&A and the Puppy Paradise. And you played some sort of Willy Wonka type character showing off all of these cute little puppies, and you had singing North Dakotans.
Yep, I did.
As the Oompa Loompas, essentially.
To this day, this is still Ashley's favorite episode.
Oh, I'm sure she submitted it. She's so funny
It's
and
so
sweet.
fun.
Yeah, basically, the podcast description says our first fan submitted setup. It takes them on a magical adventure with singing North Dakotans, endless puppies, and a place where you can pet everything in the room. I remember that. Everything was petable.
Everything was
petable. And basically, people just started getting nixed off the island, essentially. Because they kept getting sucked into the pets, right?
I think so. But I just know that, the couple was looking to do it to buy the puppy. And it was just very Willy Wonka.
Yeah.
I had to sing some Oompa Loompa songs as a North Dakotan instead. But just a lot of fun. Really, just a good time. I mean, I still love that episode. It was really whimsical. I think everything kind of landed and just worked and flowed. I would put that one at least in an A.
Put that in an A. I'm going to give it a B so that it averages to B+.
Okay.
And here's my reason.
Sure.
Here's my reasoning. Is because we didn't really sing too much, and it's a musical.
That's true. I think I only
pretty good.
did
It's very good.
2 little short ditties, and that was really
That's pretty much it. We could have done more with it.
Could've done
I'm
more.
giving it a B+ here.
Yeah.
We're sitting at a solid B+ here.
Yeah.
All right.
Next
episode, episode 8.
Yes. This town ain't big enough. With Austin.
Yes, we did.
I love this episode.
It was super fun.
It was so much fun when I kind of figured out who my character is. But in this episode, there's a guy who's new in town, and he's starting at this.
It's like a grocery store.
It was like a department grocery, like a Target type of deal.
Yeah.
And he's just getting through it, working in customer service. All who have worked in customer service will hopefully feel this in their soul. I mean, it was a blast, and I know eventually after Austin's meeting all these people, he starts to take them one by one aside, and he'd say, "Listen, like, you want to run this town?" type of deal. And he was scheming independently with other people.
I remember that. He was going to take over.
He was trying to take over, but he was doing it with everyone, and it was. But I remember I played a character who was very reminiscent of Boomhauer from King of the Hill. It's just very
Vaguely.
southern and just
kept
mumbly, just
talking
talking
and
and
shut
going and going.
I remember that.
It was very fun to play. It was a fun character to be.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I remember that one being a ton of fun. It's store premise, so we're working a shop. I'm gonna say that's a B in my book.
That's where I was thinking too. A solid B episode.
B. Right there. Number 9, King Chadley and the Funky Bunch. So, King Chadley and the Funky Bunch, if I remember right, this was, you played King Chadley.
I did.
And I was basically...
You were Sir Anthony of the decagonal table.
Of the dodecagonal table. No, just regular decagonal.
Just the decagonal
regular
table.
decagonal table. And yeah, we went on basically a tour to try to start a kegger.
We were starting to kegger. Goblins were infesting the area.
Yes, and they were really upset we didn't invite them to the kegger.
Yeah, and so it was a mess, and we were trying to get people to start the kegger, and try to count on your boys to get the keg, and they couldn't get it. It was just a fun adventure, some medieval Chadliness, and some just some bros trying to throw it.
Chadley's first appearance. I think he's made 2 or 3 appearances.
At least, I think just the 2.
Just the 2. Okay.
But even still, he's a very notable character.
Okay, that sounds good. That's fair.
So I would put. I think I'd put that one.
Let's say it on the count of 3.
1, 2, 3.
B. All right, I got a solid B.
Feeling another B for King Chadley.
So
then we have episode 10.
Episode 10, Captain BB and the Tale of the Legendary Golden Socks.
I know I've said this a million times, but when I say I love this episode, I mean it more than I think I've meant so far.
Absolutely. I'm glad you feel that way too. This is what started it all.
Yeah, this was this
thing too.
Yeah, this is the first step on like the really big, impactful episodes on the multiverse.
Oh yeah,
and God, the characters were just great. You know, Captain Big Booty is one of my favorite characters I've ever gotten to play.
Oh,
and then Mickey the Rat was a wonderful addition, and just
Mickey
going
the Rat
back and
was
forth.
awesome. And then a dog named Pluto or something
like that. But there was
Pluto.
and then I think that like the crewmates all had the same name, or they all rhymed.
Yeah.
They were all. And there was one crewmate who had like a weird waifu'd out bunk.
Yes, that's right.
We're looking for Daniel Radcliffe's golden socks. There's a Kraken fight. We run away from like skeletons. There's so much that happens.
We finally open the chest and they're Daniel Radcliffe's golden socks.
Yes.
And that's the origin story.
That's
so many.
Yeah, that's so many important moments.
Absolutely
in there. My God, honestly, I'm giving it an excellent.
Excellent, dude.
That's an excellent. I mean, yeah,
100%.
100%. It was so much fun.
So glad you agree. So we got our first excellent right here.
Bam.
Number 10, Captain Baby and the Tale of the Legendary Golden Socks. And that was only like a month and a half into us.
Yeah.
So, or sorry, 2.5 months. 2.5 months.
So when you, because that was your premise.
That was my premise. Yep.
Did you think at all that this could go further than just this episode, or were you like, this is just
golden socks I thought the golden socks would have been a fun recurring theme.
Sure.
I never thought it'd get to the extent of this, the way that we really stretched their influence, but I knew that they would come back. I had a feeling it was going to be like a recurring joke.
Sure.
Like just that, like a one-off. I never thought it would connect to other stories or worlds in that sense. Yeah, I just thought it was really funny that everyone was killing each other over socks.
Yeah.
Worn by the boy wizards.
Absolutely.
That's
The boy who lived.
The boy who lived.
And then, excellent. Absolutely an excellent episode.
Absolutely.
And then next up, episode 11, Sneaky Ski People. This was a fun episode, a fun bro venture.
Yeah.
The three bros go out to a ski lodge, and one of them dies. And I do remember us a reoccurring conversation about making sure we had our socks, because we all decided to just share a bed, even though the place we were staying at was enormous.
Oh yeah.
But one of us dies, and it's kind of a mystery who done it.
Who didn't?
And
who done it? Who did do it?
Turns out it was me.
It was you.
I was the murderer.
Time.
And
and I got saved.
You got
by
saved.
A mysterious, faceless man who we talk about the lore a little bit later.
Was a NASCAR driver.
He is a NASCAR driver.
Yeah. And that's also a pretty important episode there to just kicking off some of that stuff. But Sneaky Ski People was just fun. I loved your character. You were very like goofy and like jokey throughout, even though like it was a very serious situation.
That's fair. That wasn't the one we were just listening to beforehand, though.
No, that was a different.
I feel like a similar dynamic to that one, which we'll jump into a little bit later.
Yeah,
I feel like the story of this one kind of diverges a little bit and wasn't super clear until midway through. Like we knew there was a murder. I didn't really know how to navigate that.
Sure.
Myself personally, first off, I shouldn't be rating everything off the bat. So Mike, tell me, where are you gonna rate this?
I would put it in a B.
You have a B, I have a C.
Okay.
So that would average out to B minus, C plus. And the reason why is just because I feel like the story kind of went this way, that way a little bit.
That's fair.
That's basically it.
Yep.
All right. No hard feelings. But let's talk about episode 12, Birds Aren't Real. One of my favorite episodes, because when I told you the premise, you were in disbelief almost. I was like, oh, we are going to be playing birds who are secret agents of the FBI, the CIA.
Yeah.
And I just love that idea so much.
And it was perfect at the time too. It was so, that was when you were really hearing all like the birds aren't real. They're just spies for the government conspiracy. So, it was topical when it came out, and my God, it was just fun. And I forgot that we're fighting Skrillex.
Yeah, we're fighting
villain.
Skrillex.
I forgot all about that.
Yeah, Skrillex was using dubstep to create like a hypersonic laser beam kind of attack or something. And so I just loved all of the bird puns. We threw in a couple of those in there.
The
grisliness of I hate this.
I hate this damn city.
Yes. In the title, that's where that episode comes from.
That is from that episode.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was a lot of fun to record that one, to be a bird and kind of figure out who I was going to be. And just deciding I'm going to go the grizzly route was, it's a good time.
100%.
So, where would you put that one?
I put that one in. I personally love it. I'm giving it an A.
Okay.
I love Skrillex being the villain. I love the scene. I wish you could visualize in my brain how that whole scene plays out.
Sure.
It's so like dark and gritty. Like imagine Batman with laser beams is how I pictured it.
I think I'd give it a B.
You give it a B.
I think I'd give it a B.
All right. So we're sitting at a
So I'm thinking B plus.
B plus. B plus. Let's do that. All right. B plus for birds aren't real.
Great app. And speaking of great apps, moseying on to episode 13, the final defense.
The final defense.
This was our second audience submitted premise. Our friend Tristan sent that in.
I thought this was your mother.
No, this one was Tristan.
Well, that's good at least. I'm glad it isn't just your family.
No, it was
awesome. Yeah, this is a fun one.
It was a fun one, and also another insanely important one. Tristan sent it in, and Anthony and I play the last defenders of Earth against Dr. Phil. This is the introduction of Dr. Phil as a villain.
We brought props to this one.
Yeah, we did.
I thought it'd be fun if we just had random things in a bag and we pulled them out and had to utilize them.
And our partners filled the bag.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So we didn't know what was in
we
them
didn't know what was
until we pull out.
So I actually filled your bag and Anna filled my bag and just kind of went through. And the last card we drew was an Uno reverse card, which
we used to
reverse engineer Dr. Phil's
potato.
Yeah, Dr. Phil is just a potato.
He's just a potato man.
Just an evil potato, essentially. This is the one that started linking up multiverse stuff.
Yeah, it really, I mean,
right behind Captain B Booty. Big Booty.
Yeah, it's impactful. It was fun. It was the first time we really got into it was very funny, but it was also like, this has to feel epic.
Oh yeah.
And like that, to me, I'd throw 13 in the excellent tier. That's where I would put it, just because.
You throw this in the excellent tier?
In that, I mean, it just with how epic, grand scale it feels.
Yes, since you're giving such an argument. Second excellent.
Nice.
Some people would say we peaked in this era. So did we peak?
I don't think so.
I don't think we peaked.
I'm excited to get to where I think we peaked.
I think,
we're continuing to get better. I think we're still getting there.
Yeah.
But
during this first season, I could tell where the climax is.
Yeah. I do know what my favorite episode
I do know where it dips a little bit.
Yeah. I also know where
100. So then let's take a look here. Episode 14, dude. Where's my waifu? Episode 14. I love that title. It's just so silly.
So good.
You wake up late for work and you have to go on to work, and there's a lot of things that just cause you to get delayed. If I'm not mistaken.
There's a cop that keeps pulling me over.
Cop pulls you over 3 times between your house and your workplace.
And I do remember I managed to talk myself a little out of at least a ticket right away, because I say, yes, like these are children, like school zones or whatever, and I am driving recklessly. So if I'm driving fast, I will be out of this zone faster and less of a danger in the work.
I totally forgot. That's really good.
Yeah.
I remember pulling you over a ton. That episode, fun fact, was based off of a song that I was obsessed with it my freshman year of college. It was so stupid. It's oh god, I can't remember. The artist is named Evil Eddie, and the song is like basically it's called I Love Work, and he just kept getting delayed to go into work, and he got fired because of all the shit that delayed him to going into work.
Yep.
And I just remember that song out of the blue, and I was like, that'd be a fun episode.
Yeah,
Do that together.
It was a great
That was a
episode.
good one. That was a good one. But I think premise is simple but done well.
Yeah.
I think you're very funny in that one, and we had a good time. So I think let's go with a solid B.
That's what I'm thinking too.
Thinking a B.
Gonna be.
All right.
Thinking a B. And then we hop on over to episode 15.
15.
Clowning around a Bumble story. This episode, I don't remember how I came up with this because I hosted this episode.
Mm-hmm.
And my God, I just remember it's another date.
It's a date episode, and that's where I started realizing, we can really fall into the same trope.
Yeah.
A little bit.
And I think
Well,
were
let's
you
read the premise on
Yes,
this one for
yeah,
people
let's
who aren't
read it.
familiar, okay?
Yeah.
This is a thrilling episode of love and Venmo, because I Venmo request you for every little thing.
Yes, yes.
Like, hey, I can't Venmo request you for the corn dogger. But you will not want to miss this unlikable hero. I don't know if it's a hero.
No, I think it's definitely a villain.
Asshole. If you will love the maiden of his Bumble dream.
Yes. I couldn't remember if I was the asshole or if I played the female.
I'll play the asshole.
But I remember I played the female in like every single episode for a
absolutely. For sure. And then I kept saying we should probably just get an actual woman.
Yeah. And we never did.
Not yet.
No,
I feel like Anna'd be fun to have on here.
Yeah,
But
I think so. But no, but that one was fun. Yeah, and there was like a clown who is being really
it's like a clown magician.
obnoxious. Yeah, because they go to the circus.
Mm-hmm.
But then he like transports her to this weird place and manages to convince her to basically drain your bank account and leave.
That's right. That is right.
Take all your money and then ditch the date.
And then you never Venmo. You never complete my Venmo requests.
So a fun episode, a good time. I'm not super
fond of it.
I mean,
I think it's a bit of it's a little redundant in my opinion.
Sure.
I'm sorry if this breaks your heart. I think we got our first D tier right here.
Okay, I was gonna give it a C
tier, but not C.
Not a C. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm
giving it a C. I'm giving it a D. Give it a C minus then.
I think I could live with a D.
You could live with a D.
There's really okay. Actually, I'm gonna say C minus, just because I do think the character that you play is hilarious.
I think the concept is really funny. I don't know if I really love the character a ton personally. You broke me. I'm going to C minus instead of
okay.
D. So
or a D plus. Well, same thing.
Yeah, we'll call it a C minus.
There we go. There we go. C minus.
Or D. You know what? Scratch that. We need more D. We need more D. So D plus.
Yeah.
D plus right there. That is episode 15. So then, number 16. The treacherous troubles at Fort Totten Trail Inn. This is what your mother submitted.
Yes, this is what
she submitted. This one, and I remember you trying to explain what the hell Fort Totten was, and I thought, is this just made up? And then you said, no, it's a real story. Why wouldn't you base it off of something that people know about? But the premise of this one here is Michael and Anthony exorcise a demon from Fort Totten Trail Inn in North Dakota.
Yes.
So in case you didn't know where it was, you still don't, because it's in North Dakota.
It's in North Dakota. This episode was fun. It was Michael and Anthony. It was we were going to do some little ghost hunting, ghost adventures, and we stay at the inn, and there's some obnoxious ghosts that we just are just being really annoying and everything. And then once this like group of badass like secret agent priests come in, and then Dr. Phil's spirit's unleashed, and we have to battle his spirit.
Yes.
And like,
Yes, it's the spirit of Dr. Phil. 'Cause I remember Dr. Phil made a recent appearance.
Yeah, that was
The spirit of Dr. Phil, almost like a Snoke situation when Snoke was still a ghosty form in episode 7.
Yeah. So it was
he has power, but he's not there physically.
Yeah. So it was a fun episode, a little messy, but
I give it a C.
I give it a C.
Give it a
some really fun moments. It plays into the whole thing, and yeah, it's a good time.
So that's episode 16. We're giving it a C.
A C, and here's
episode 17.
Ferris wheels, big day off.
I'm gonna rate this.
I'm giving it an F, baby. This is, in my opinion, our worst episode.
The worst episode we ever. Well, this is the worst episode we ever released. We have 2 or I'm pretty sure we have 3. We have 3 episodes that were such stinkers we didn't submit it, and one was because it was so messy.
Yeah.
Another was because I had food poisoning and just threw together a fucking premise, and then we tried to record. That was episode 69, and then as I was I was exporting it to the file, and I was like, episode 69 sounds.
I remember that now. Yeah.
Mindful that we record this. It's so bad. I had.
Fuck, I don't remember what episode.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah.
Get to that point. I'll talk a little more about that.
Please.
That I get chills. That was probably some of the worst food poisoning of my fucking.
Yeah, dude. That was
that point. I was dying. But anyways, episode 17, instant F tier. Here's the podcast description. 2 bros sit next to each other on a Ferris wheel, and things go a little zany.
Yeah. That's so stupid. It was the premise. It definitely changed sort of the perspective going forward from this episode because it was such an oh shit moment.
Oh yeah. Well, I confined.
Yeah. I was like, the whole thing is going to be this odd couple stuck on a Ferris wheel, like 2 people who would hate each other, just stuck on a Ferris wheel, having to put up with each other's shit, and that's it. And instead, we ended up getting off the Ferris wheel really early on, and
we made one
thing.
We made one
loop, and then it was like, and then we get off, and I was like, I don't have anywhere to go.
Yeah,
like,
we went to like
any backup plan.
We went to like a weird like bro date to Apple.
Yeah, and then we also
to like an opera.
There was a stop at like one of our houses where we might have been a serial killer that went nowhere.
I remember
it was a mess because I had no plan after
and
the Ferris wheel.
We still went. Let's post. Yes, someone will find this easy.
Our work, you can. That is just you can set that one.
All right, so
then you need to list on.
I'm glad. I was really scared to be like, I kind of like this.
No, I've been too. It's not because
that was
the
moment I realized we have to actually try to put these podcast premises together because otherwise you end up with stuff like that.
But it also was like I need to be. It also put into perspective of like if things go completely off of where I'm kind of imagining it, I need to have it in a situation where I could still steer it. Because in that situation, it was like I completely lost the steering wheel.
Yeah,
it was like it's going all over the road. No one's controlling this anymore, and it just crashed. It was.
So enough about that stinker. Let's talk about episode 18.
A Derby for the Ages. Keith and Keith the horse are in the Derby of their lives. But when a mysterious thing happens during the races, their road to victory is a bit foggy.
Yes. Keith the rider of Keith the horse?
Yeah.
Okay. Because they had, that was where we started coining the phrase dump truck of a derriere. And I said that at least 20 times in that episode. And Anna still says that to this day.
Really?
She said that person had a big dump truck of a derriere. That was like the insult. I was calling you a fat ass horse or whatever. I was all like, your horse is too thick. He's a dump truck of a derriere.
Shit. I don't remember a lot of that episode.
I remember that episode because that was my premise.
Yeah.
I thought it'd be funny if there was Keith the rider and then Keith the horse, and they could communicate with each other essentially.
Yeah.
And Keith the horse gets tampered with essentially by the so like the main antagonist, the bully jockey, tampers with Keith the horse, but Keith the horse accidentally gets like a steroid bump or something from the tampering.
That's
so he
right.
just, like, guns it. He's like an ultimate racer.
Yeah.
I thought that was a fun episode. I give it a solid, like, since it's not something super notable, I wouldn't write home about it. I'm giving it a C+.
I'd give it a C. So we could do C+.
Well, dude, let's do a C. We'll just do a C.
A C.
Do a C tier.
Sure.
All right. So then next episode,
to episode 19, Tales from the Theater. This was a fun one. This was 3 friends go to the movies and get an experience of a lifetime.
was this just the two of us?
It was just the 2 of us, but we had like another character. So this was my thing. Yeah. So I played 2 characters. Actually, I played Michael and Anthony, and you played a different person.
That's right.
So I was playing you, and I remember having fun in this episode because I just made a caricature out of you. So I was just being an ass. But yeah, in that episode, it was kind of crazy. Like we go to the person at the front counter is like super creepy and weird that sells us our ticket, and like everything's mysterious, and then it's like this hidden theater we have to get into. And I think you were having reoccurring nightmares. Sure. They're playing on the screen, coming alive.
I remember that.
It was pretty crazy.
I'm personally not a big fan of mysterious doors magically showing up and we walk in and do stuff. I'm not a big fan of those stories.
That's fair.
I'm giving that a, where are you going to put this first off? I know you like it.
I like it only because I got to play you.
I'd give this a C-.
Okay. I was going to give like a D+.
D+? Oh, okay. Can we go that far? We're getting in a fucking D.
We'll do it.
D. We're getting a D.
Yeah, it's fun, but it's kind of a burger. There's really,
Next one, though, is a fun one.
Yeah.
I personally love this one. Do you remember anything about episode 20, Dunces, Dukes, and Donuts?
I do remember.
What's the one thing you remember from that episode? Because the one thing I remember off the fucking bat.
I mean, there's a few things I remember. The thing I remember the most is bros together, bros unite, bros eating carbohydrates tonight.
That's this episode. That's not what I was going to say.
Bros.
I totally forgot that came from this episode.
The other thing I remember is us eating a donut person. Or maybe starting to and then realizing it's a donut person, but I remember eating a person.
I remember.
Who's a lie.
My personal favorite part of this episode was there was a bear trap and there's this cute little donut.
Yeah, I thought.
And they're all like, oh yeah, I'm getting nothing bad happens today. And then their leg gets chopped off, and we have jelly just spurting.
I thought that was the person we.
That was the person we probably think
we either eat that or we like start to,
or like
it's like it's kind of fucked up.
Oh, we probably eat their leg to freedom.
Yeah,
which is even more terrifying.
That was a pretty fun episode. It was back into the kind of zanier side of things. That one kind of felt like we were an upswing from a few kind of
stinkery
episodes. Yeah. And then it felt like, okay, we're starting to pick up a little bit of momentum.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think we realized the possibilities if we could do some stuff like this.
Yeah. However, I would put that, I would give it like a B.
I'd give it a solid B. Absolutely.
I'd give it
right
a B.
there. Episode 21.
Smanson's Wild Ride featuring the Blue Man Group.
All right. So
I think I remember you were not eager to play Smanson again.
I was not eager to play Smanson again because we have 3 Smanson episodes in, let's do simple math here. So in less than half a year,
Yeah.
I played Smanson on 3 separate occasions, and also the aliens. See, there was basically like Smanson's like this guy, this wandering traveler who hears in a tavern that there are aliens.
Well, he like gets sucked back through time.
Is that what's going on?
Yeah, this is back in time, and then he hears about all this, and he meets, and it's the Blue Man Group.
Yeah, the premise here: Smanson returns with a thrilling Western-style adventure that dips into the origins of a previous antagonist.
It is the prophecy of Dr. Phil coming to destroy the world, and Smanson uses bros together, bros unite, bros eating carbohydrates tonight to create a portal to suck Dr. Phil's spirit. So there was a call
week before.
Yeah,
is that even a callback at that point?
Right? They were really like at that point. I think it felt like more time passed between episodes. it felt like that because we'd be like, man, let's do a callback. Like, remember that episode we did 3 episodes ago?
Oh, yeah.
Holy shit. And now it's like, fuck, we should do a callback to that. That was super fun. Oh, that was 40 episodes ago.
Yep.
And so it's totally different now. But at the time, yeah, it was kind of like the callbacks were kind of willy-nilly, you know.
I'm gonna say I'm giving it a D.
I'm giving it a D.
Giving it a D tier.
Yeah, like it wasn't. I was really the only one who wanted to see Smanson back.
I don't even think the
even-
audience wanted to see
No.
Smanson back either.
It's just me.
Just gotta stop fucking. I'm giving it an F tier
And-
just for that. F tier. F tier.
We can throw it in an F.
F tier. We need more F tiers. here.
Yeah, it wasn't. It just kind of wasn't much.
Yeah,
It was
that's
a bit of
whatever.
a mess, and no one really asked for Spanson.
That's whatever. Oh yeah.
But then we have a bit more of an upswing here. Episode 22.
You think so? This is episode 22, Artist in Paris, Texas. Do you remember what happened when we recorded episode 22, Artist in Paris, Texas?
It was not an upswing in Anthony's personal life. I didn't remember that this happened in this episode.
So I remember because if you listen, I'm pretty sure there's an edit where you can hear like the dialogue totally change because in the middle of this, okay, so here's the premise. A great artist works on his masterpiece, and when he makes an adversary, his work suddenly becomes in danger. So there's an artist who has a display, and everyone's like, okay, whatever. You decided to detour to like a restaurant, like an Outback Steakhouse is how the scene went. Like you finished your art stuff. You're going to go to dinner.
Yeah.
And the idea is you went to dinner, you came back and your art was tampered with.
Yeah.
And so you went to dinner at Outback, and in the middle of me playing the server, your roommate Cody busts on into the door and goes, dude, your car's getting towed. And I went, are you fucking kidding me? And I bust down there and yet my car got fucking towed because I parked right across the street from you and you were supposed to park there, I guess. So
yeah.
I was pissed. And then we came back, or I got my car, paid it, came back, we finished recording the episode, and I was pissed the rest of the
Yeah.
episode.
That killed the vibe.
Here for me, just personal.
I would give it a D. We'll give it a D minus.
D minus.
Because it's still a fun episode. I think it does. Yeah, but that was a blunder.
You were more mad than I was at that point.
I was pissed too. Well, I was pissed because everybody parks there and it was super inconvenient to us all the time.
Oh yeah.
And then you parked there once and they towed it.
Oh,
it was like
it was stupid as fuck.
So anyway, that was episode 22.
Uh-huh.
All right, so episode 23, drama in Mr. P's class.
Yes, drama in Mr. P's classroom.
You got a Mr. P, which was intentionally meant to be like Mr. Peralta, but ended up being also the same last initial as our theater teacher when we were in high school. Oh, yeah. But has a classroom of theater kids, which is a problem in itself. I don't remember what happens in this.
I'm pretty sure it's just one of those classic episodes where it's like you have 3 characters. Do this. Okay, you do this. Okay, you do.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it a D.
I'll give it a D.
I don't remember
Kind of a
anything
nothing
from
burger.
Nah, that's nothing super special. But the next episode.
I do like the next episode.
Game show gone crazy? What is this?
A game show gets freaky with sneaky pranksters.
Oh,
this is I'm gonna kiss your dad.
It was a punked version show where he would just run up and sexually assault by kissing people's dads.
Yeah, we both would. And you had this super thick, like crazy accent.
Yeah.
But it was totally fake because when we weren't shooting, you were like, you need to do this. So like,
yeah.
This
is how you get.
This is how you get.
And I would. I'm going to kiss you.
And going up and kissing dads on the street.
Oh, it was great. It was so
funny. And then I think it ended with us changing it to like, I'm gonna kiss your potted plant or something. Like we
started kissing random.
It was great.
It was right after.
The energy was wild.
It was pretty great.
It was a good time. I'd give it a B.
I'm giving it a B plus.
Okay,
B plus.
I'll take a B plus.
So B plus for episode 24. But how about episode 25?
Birthday dinner.
Not a winner.
Not a winner. A birthday dinner turns sour when a restaurant's business model gets too personal. I think the premise had a bit more potential in this story than it ended up being.
Sure. I think he had a bigger idea than I had.
I mean, it was pretty simple. So basically, it was just, people are going out. It's your birthday, and like a group of friends are going out, and it's one of those restaurants that's kind of sassy and like rude to everybody, but it's like playful to everyone, but he's just fucking mean to you.
Really?
Everybody else is like, oh, are you sure you need those fries? And then with you, I'm like, what do you want, you fucking piece of shit? I'm just mean to you.
That would be so good to work at a place like that, just so I can single people out.
And so it was a fun premise, very simple, really nothing spectacular.
Yeah, I think I came home. Well, the twist at the end was fucking ridiculous. I came home from my shitty birthday party, and there's a birthday card left for me, and I open it, and it turns out the birthday card was like laced with herpes or something.
Oh no, it wasn't even just laced. It was while at the restaurant, I went on the overhead mic and told everybody that you had like hepatitis.
That's what it was, hepatitis.
And then when you get home, it was a note from your doctor, and the test results was positive for hepatitis. And I think I looked out your window, and I was standing outside staring up at you, and
that's hilarious. All right, that made me laugh really hard just now. I'm gonna give it a C+.
I'll give it a C+. It's a fun episode.
So that was episode 25. We got C+. How about episode 26? Charles E. Cheddar.
Sonny Michael
to
and Papa Michael.
Yes, there was Sonny Michael and Papa Michael, and they had a birthday bash at the local fun food joint, Charles E. Cheddar. Also, Siri just pulled up Cheddar as a civil parish in the English county of Somerset.
Oh,
so
thank you, Siri.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, this episode, I thought it was really fun.
It was a good time.
We played like
this very like mafioso.
Yeah, like mafia overtones for the dad, and but he went to Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah,
Charles
and Cheddar. And we
catches on fire or something like that.
I try to recruit Charles, I believe. I tried to recruit
him. Treat my boy right, you'll have a friend in me or something.
I'd give it like a C.
Yeah, I'd give it a C.
It was fun.
A C+.
Yeah.
All right.
So next up here is one that is so near and dear to my heart. That is episode 27, The Smartest of Jars.
I think you like this episode more than I do.
Probably.
I remember you being hysterical and me thinking, this is all right.
I showed a lot of people this, and I played it over and over again.
So the description.
The description is an actor takes his first steps into becoming a world-renowned movie star by taking a commercial.
There's a whole. I forgot about that B plot right there. Okay, he does get famous off of this.
But so the meat of the story is you doing a read for the smart jar, and I keep telling you to read it different.
Yeah, give me some sex. Give me some sex.
And so when I tell you to I want you to seduce me with this,
and somebody walks by and just give me some sex.
But you open up your ad read with yeah, I was fucking dying. You can hear me in the background losing my mind.
Sure.
I love that episode. I think it was hilarious. I still think it's super funny.
All right.
I give it an A.
I'm giving it a B+.
Okay.
But just for you, I'll swing it up to A. We'll throw it up just for you. I've been so negative. I'm like Simon Cowell over here. All right. So that's episode 27.
27.
Episode 28, an astronaut and an astronaut. So 2 astronauts and their cat are the first travelers to Mars, and things get pretty #bonkers, if you know what I mean. This is not SEO optimized at all. But
I haven't gotten.
But I remember this episode vaguely because the cat could talk.
Yeah.
We had a talking cat.
It was a talking cat. I don't remember a whole lot of this.
No,
episode.
basically it was like 2 guys. It was like your odd couple.
Yeah.
Space.
Up in space.
And then you fuck up our trip or whatever, and then eject one of us in an escape pod or something. I don't remember a ton from it. I'm giving it a C.
Let's give it a C. I remember it being kind of fun. The cat was fun.
I remember it being fun.
But I don't remember a lot about it.
It was not that noticeable. I'm
really...
going to throw it in the C right there.
Yeah.
So then, this might be one of my... we're
29.
We're on episode 29.
A theater kid walks into a magic show.
Yes.
Jasper and his friends make a detour trip and come across a magic show. Yeah, in this premise here, we're all supposed to go on vacation, and Jasper, who was played by Anthony, is my premise here. He books us a trip to Wahpeton, North Dakota, instead of Miami.
Oh yeah, that's right. I remember
Wahpeton and just have an awful time. And so we're like trying to find shit to do, and we go to a magic show. And I remember your character was like a theater kid, so you had to be like super pretentious and always just on, and like it made for some really fun moments.
Absolutely.
And you get hypnotized at one point.
Oh yeah, I do. I get hypnotized, and I do silly stuff, I guess, and that's basically it.
Yeah, I think a lot of the humor just came from how awful your character was. Sure. And I thought you played it well. I think that's the first time we ever got like that you played a character that was like very full of themselves, or very like
probably. Yeah, I was probably super uncomfortable.
And I think you were also like, everything has to be really deep. I think you were a philosophy student.
That's what it was.
You were like a philosophy student and a theater kid rolled into one, and just made for a fun and very pretentious character.
All right. Well, I think I'm gonna give that probably a C+.
Okay.
C+.
This is a C+.
You live with a C+ on that.
C+.
So, all right, episode 29, C+. Okay. I think we're only going to get up to episode 50 in this episode, Michael. So that'll be a two-parter.
Yeah.
Which is whatever. Episode 30, however.
Some Country for Old Men.
I love this episode.
Yeah?
Do you remember this episode?
A little bit. Yeah, I remember.
Played two retirees. So Gary and his old pal go on a heist in their golden years. So we had to like find like the cure to some disease or some sort of like extreme like government secrets for some personal reason. I'm trying to
Don't we fight a robot Musk or no Bezos or something like that?
Yeah, we fight like a Jeffrey Bezos or a Mark Zuckerberg,
something.
I know.
Yeah.
I think you said like something about the Zuck. No, I'm trying to remember. But basically, this episode was us. As old men, we had semi-bionic parts because we. Yeah, oh my god! And I had a bionic penis, and that's what you dude. That's why I love this episode so much.
That bumped it up for me. That bumped it up for me because I found out that I had a.
I remember a ton from this, and it's still a great. I remember having fond memories about this.
I'll give it. I
gotta give it a solid B.
That's what I was. Yeah, I'll give it a B.
Solid B right there. Your bionic, semi-bionic penis right there is what saved the day from Bezos or Zuckerberg or something. But
so we got the B tier, and then we went into episode 31, Aliens in Paradise.
Okay, so
an alien learns a thing about humans during his speed dating day.
Oh yeah, we had like alien speed dating going on. I'm trying to remember a ton about this. I
don't think there were a lot of like standout moments.
No.
It just was kind of funny.
It was just silly speed dating. Yeah, people had quirks and that's it. But
yeah,
I could probably just throw it in like
I give
C
it
minus.
Yeah, we'll give it a C minus.
I don't remember much about this.
I don't
Episode 31, C minus.
Yeah,
you'll probably skip it if you're not feeling it. But it
could be a fun situation.
Sure, why not?
Yeah,
why not? But episode 32, we have. Window washers and Sesame Street.
Yes.
The description here is window washers meet an extraordinary character as they get lost in New York.
That's right.
Michael.
Yeah. We're window washers. We get stuck on our balcony.
And we get help from somebody.
Platform. Not somebody happens to be Elmo.
And
Elmo
would leave us alone?
Would not leave us alone. Elmo dies in the end, saving us.
Does he die in this episode?
That's where he gets crushed.
Is that this?
That's this episode. That's where he gets crushed.
I totally forgot.
Yeah, window washers in Sesame Street. Elmo helps us he rescues us.
That's terrible.
And as he's lowering our lift, which is going incredibly slow, he won't move from under it. And we're like dude, like you can go.
Like, you have plenty of space, dude. Please, like,
He's
step
like,
out. I can't
this
have this
is
on
it.
my conscience.
This is it for me.
This is my
And then he
destiny.
slowly is crushed to death.
We have episode 32. So I think that's.
I give it like a B.
I give it a B. I think that's a fair B.
Give it a B. It's a good B tier.
Episode 33, Sex Store Scary Stories.
This is a super memorable one for me.
Is this Johnny Switchblade or is that
This is
different
Johnny
episode?
Switchblade.
Johnny
A
Switchblade.
night at the toy store office gets a bit spooky.
It's spooky because there's a mysterious serial killer on the loose.
I love this episode. This is our characters Crispin and Aspen. Anthony plays Crispin, I play Aspen, and it's one of the best odd couple pairings we've ever done. I think we're staying late at the office because we're behind on this big project that's due the next day, and so we're staying really, really late.
Working
to finish this. We're working hard.
Toy design.
Yeah, we have to present a new sex toy design, and so there's a lot of moments where Anthony's like flipping through his book, and like you're doing research, and you're like, whoa,
Working hard.
well, and like and it's just irritating the shit out of me, and I'm like, can you just not?
Can you please? Like, it's not that big of a deal. It's not that big of a deal.
You get so petty, like, fine, well, if it's not that big of a deal, why are we still talking about it? Like, I think it's so fucking funny to me.
That's good.
And then it turns out there was a serial killer on the loose who breaks in, and we're the only ones there. And in hiding from him, we end up in a room filled with vibrators, and that gives away our presence. He opens the door, and I think he says, "Time to get switched, boys." And then we pelt him with vibrators until he falls backwards out of a glass window and falls to his death.
That's basically it.
And I think the last line in that one is when the cops show up and they see his dead body and they look up to us and they're like, "We got him." And like, that's it.
That's it. And then we got fired.
And then we have, we do.
At the end,
that's
we're
not
like,
it. We
"Boss,
got fired.
I know we didn't meet our deadlines. We barely met our deadlines,
Yeah.
but there was a murder." And he goes, "Oh, that's cool, but you're still fired."
Yeah, you're fired because you had like weeks to figure this out and you didn't start till
Last time you waited till the last minute. You got bit for it.
Yeah.
Sorry, who hasn't been there? So
Yeah, so
episode 33, I'm giving an A.
I'd give it an A.
An A right there.
I'd give it an A plus. Personally, we can do an A.
Just
but,
A.
yeah.
Just A. But episode 34 is one that lives deep in my heart. I love this episode.
So good.
Episode 34,
Taco trucks and tallywhackers.
The description is 2 competing taco trucks get heated when they are fuck. All right, let's try it again. 2 competing taco trucks get heated when they compete for customer adoration.
That's right.
So this episode, we're just trying to one-up each other as taco truck vendors, and my emergency brakes on this slope just kind of break, and I go swerving off to the side.
This is the famous finger in the mouth.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Moment.
Yeah. So we were trying to one-up each other, and it got so wild because I was like, "Hey, I'll give you like 5 tacos for the price of 2," and you're like, "I'll give you 10. I'll give you a T-shirt. I'll give you."
And then I said I will go down on every single person who buys
Every single person who buys a taco, and everyone went way over it. And my truck, as I'm trying to do stuff, the emergency brake dies, and we go skirting down, and it's on fire. And I'm like, "Please help!" And you're like, "Oh, 1 second, 1 second."
and my anger in my mouth.
Probably like the peak of our blue.
I would say so.
Was you were just going.
I was just chowing down on somebody's member, if you will.
Oh yeah, and it was quite a memory member.
It was
there.
amazing.
Yeah, that was just a fun one that I absolutely loved.
Yeah, good episode.
Yeah, that's definitely ranking high up for me.
Yeah, God, at least an A plus, I'd say. Like it's up.
Well, in that case, it got thrown on.
Let's go on excellent.
Excellent. We got excellent, which means we got episode 35 right there. So episode 35, Jerry's out of the band.
That's it. I'm out of the band.
Out of the band.
Yeah, episode 35, Jerry's out of the band. Anthony is trying to keep his local band together as tensions rise in the group. So in that episode, we're a band. Anthony's kind of the leader, and there's infighting. And I'm a couple members, but Jerry, the drummer, is always in the very back and just constantly. That's it. I'm out of the band.
Done.
And he's done. And then everybody's just, Jerry, no, come on.
Jerry, still stick around.
Yeah. We're trying to learn. Oh, I know. All right. That's all Jerry ever says is that he's out, and then all right, I'll stay.
So episode 35, where we throwing this bad boy.
A C.
I'm giving it a C. I'm giving it a C. Giving it a C. That it's good. It's fun, but
Yeah.
special. Yeah. All right, everybody. We're gonna be right back after this break, and we're back. And we're back better than ever because we're gonna talk about episode 36. It disappear.
Yeah, it's not there anymore.
It's a lost episode.
So we're gonna be hunting that one down and trying to figure out.
It's like a lost episode or something. It's not. It cast some of our hard drives, I'm sure.
Yeah. So when I don't know if there was an issue when we switched hosts or what happened, but 36 disappeared.
Doesn't live on anymore. But 37 following up is
Old
friends.
With Kiara Gonzalez, my sister, my little sister, played on this episode here.
I remember you bringing her up to record, and I went, "You have a sister?" Really, I have a lot of siblings. I was all like, "Oh, I'm a terrible friend."
I just didn't grow up with any of them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But tell me a little bit about this episode.
Yeah, so Penny, who Kiara plays, and friends, being you, are they're old college buddies. They meet up and they go to a interactive show that takes a smoky turn. So an interactive show is kind of like Into the Mist, if you're familiar with that at all. It's like a play, but that you can actually interact with, and it can take place in different rooms. So you can go from room to room. There's different things happening, and it's a very, very cool experience. So, but yeah, so you guys attend one of those, and things start to get a little strange, a little
Weird stuff happens. It's a bit too hardcore.
You run into a mysterious man who we've seen in a previous episode, but he's a little different this time. Mickey the Rat.
Mickey the Rat makes a return.
This is the first time we see the Alphaverse, the mascot version of Mickey the Rat, where he tries to sell you weed relentlessly.
He won't stop. He won't stop trying to sell me weed.
And then even though you two don't ever accept it, he busts you anyways. It was a sting off.
Oh yeah,
and he arrests you guys for that.
And let's just say we probably deserved it.
You definitely deserved it. Definitely. But yeah, it was a fun ep. The guest episodes are always fun to bring in different energy.
I thought it was good. You know, if we didn't have Kiara there, I'd just give it a solid C-. But since Kiara was there and she brought a lot of fun energy, that's a solid B.
Yeah,
solid B right there. Good to be right there. Plus, we meet Mickey the Rat.
Yeah,
Alphaverse, which is pretty fun. Who is a recurring character. That's always a good time. So that was episode 37, which means we're on episode 38.
The Fantastic Foreskins. Austin Lamb is back.
He is back. He's back, better than ever. He's our most visited guest, I think. We have 3 episodes with Austin, I think.
He is a featured guest in 2 episodes, and then he has made an appearance
on a 3rd episode.
Either 1 or 2 other episodes.
Oh, sure. All right.
So Austin's been around.
Yeah, he's awesome. He's great.
But yeah, as a superhero with a strange weakness, learns that his origins are a bit more nefarious than he anticipated.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, he has an existential crisis because he's like Achilles. You know, he only has one soft part of his body, which is his penis. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that's his Achilles heel.
His creator, because he's like a robot.
Yeah.
Thing. And his creator has a son who's very emo, that resents his father for loving this creation that Austin plays.
Yes.
More. And I was the emo, and then you must have been the creator then. And yeah, it was.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember. Austin made quite a few awesome quips. He played superhero.
He played, and it was it was a lot of fun. Austin definitely made it. I will say though, it was a little touch and go because it took a little bit for Austin to find who the character is.
That is true. But he always crushes it.
I'd
personally give it a B just because.
Okay, I would give it a C.
Give it a C. All right, so B minus.
B minus.
Yeah, C plus. We'll give it a C plus right there. So then, right behind that is episode 39.
Murderous Media.
Yes, the description here is it's on there. I don't know how accurate it is. It is a murder mystery told through the lens of a terrible news reporter.
That's right.
And it's so terrible that even the audience doesn't really know what's going on in the episode.
It's pretty crazy. Yeah, there's a murder and you're trying to get to the bottom of it.
I'm not very good at it. The acting is pretty good.
The acting was great. You're going through the family and everybody's a suspect. The family's kind of crazy. It ends up being one of the family members was the murderer. But I think there are multiple times where you keep wanting to like, oh, let's shoot that again. Let's take it back. And I keep as the anchor having to be like, we're live.
We're live. We can't reshoot this.
So some fun moments. Yeah, I don't know. I would give it like a C.
Yeah.
C.
All right. Yeah, that's a C for me.
It's a fun.
All right. So we got C for episode 39. How about episode 40? Meat and Defeat. And this premise is a meat lover and a magical vegan walk into a butcher shop. Do you remember this episode?
Yes,
you do.
So it's not necessarily a meat lover and a vegan that walk into a butcher shop. I played a meat lover or a butcher, and you were a vegan who came in and you were like scorning me, and we got into a very one-sided argument. You were like just hated my lifestyle, and I thought we were pals, and you. And then
vaguely remember this. We were on like a
me
farm
and
or something.
you turned me into a cow.
That's right.
Because I
do
just
into
ate a ton of meat and it was turning me into a cow.
Okay.
But I kept thinking like, yeah, but I think your name was Vince. And I was like, Vince is a good guy though. Even though you're the one who did this to me. And I'm like, no, he's pretty cool, dude.
I vaguely remember this.
It was really fun.
I'm sure it was fun, but I mean,
yeah,
C minus.
Like okay. I give it a C. It was, yeah.
Sticking with a C.
We'll do a C.
All right. How about you read this next one?
Yeah, episode 41, Clubbing the Sailor Man. Two guys get caught in the crossfires of a familiar pirate while trying to find the club.
Yes.
Yeah. So Anthony's character is kind of going through some rough times, and so I take him out on the town, and we end up accidentally stumbling into the Bootyverse onto Captain Big Booty's ship. He gets attacked, and we're thrown into the water, where we manage to find a portal back into our regular universe. And it ends with us getting to the club, and everybody's really weird in there, and we meet Mickey the Rat. He tries to sell us weed, and we scream, and then that's the end.
That's basically it.
But I think the funniest part of that entire episode is your character thinks that I'm in on everything that's going on.
That's right.
Captain Big Booty's a stripper that I hire.
That's right. That makes sense.
And I keep trying to tell you I have nothing to do with what's going on. You just will not have it.
Amazing.
So that was a lot of fun to explore that dynamic and just go back and forth of like, Anthony, I don't know what this is. This is crazy. And you're like, oh, Captain Big Booty. And I'm like, yes, it's weird. I know, but it's not me. I'm not
sure. All right. Where are you going to put this back?
I give it a B.
Give it a B? All right. I give it that's a fair B.
Yeah, I give it a B.
B for BB right there.
Yeah.
Now let's get up to episode 42, Heads or Tails, an Island Tale. And I made this premise, and this is a rare Anthony L right here. A rare Anthony L. And I'll tell you why. Because I had a ton. I just started school again. Yeah. I was like my second week back into school for my junior, senior year, because I was a split student, and I was just crunched. And so I was like, fuck, what am I going to do? And the idea was we would go to an island, and there would be those like Moai statues, like the big Easter Island heads. Yeah. And they would start talking to us, and we'd have to try to get off the island by using them. But I feel like I wasn't getting the point across very well, because we just kind of wandered around, and then
I remember one of them wouldn't leave us be. Or like,
there was
not letting us
annoying. There was just an annoying one. Everywhere we go, and like, you great, powerful beings. And he's like, no, I just want someone to hang out with. Or right. So, I mean, the only joke in there that actually makes me laugh is we're searching for clean drinking water, and we dig around the sand, and then you go, dude, I found water. And I went, no way. And it's like bottled water. And you go, Dasani. Oh, that's no good. And then we went,
The classic bit.
that was
my
the only
God.
one that cracked me up in that episode. So I'm giving it a fucking F.
Yeah, I'd give it an
Got an F. Rare Anthony L.
Just
right there.
didn't. Yeah.
No,
We
doesn't stand
we're on
out.
the same page. And,
Well, also, I mean, like, we were in a transitional period because we were going from, you were like about to move because of baby.
yeah.
You're about to move into your house, I'm pretty sure. And, or no, you needed like,
We were moving. I think we were moving into the
we're moving into the
other
studio.
room, yeah, and so it just was a weird bunch of stuff.
Yeah. So transitional stuff, plus I was just exhausted from just school kicking back in, and it was a grind. But
Next up we have
episode-
is episode 43. Did
Our
anyone
first-
order an extra large sausage pizza?
our first video episode
Yes.
ever. And I remember thinking, after setting all
We're
this,
so not
I was
about it.
real pissed because I was like, dude, this is our first video episode. People are going to watch this actively, and this is what you're going to put together.
Oh yeah,
I give it an F.
I
Get
give
rid
it
off the bat.
I give it a D. Yeah.
D tier.
It's
D
funny.
tier. It's funny for you.
It's
but
very
more
funny for me.
importantly, I was like, this is our first video episode, and I had to edit it. I had to edit this hot girl.
It was yeah. Anthony played a character who basically figured or thought life
Everything
was,
was sexual.
porn.
Everything.
Yeah, like was
I
what
couldn't
like, it is porn.
distinguish the difference between pornography and real life.
Yeah,
Which is just basically a sex offender. You have me play a sex offender.
but it never worked out for you. You never got
I never got it. no.
anything. You were just really awkward with flirting. Kind
Mhm.
of.
Oh yeah,
You thought everyone was hitting on you, and no one ever was.
they weren't.
And
But
I had an intervention for you.
I'm gonna give it a D instead of an F because that was our first video episode, and that's a pretty big feat right there.
But,
So, all right, that's also for a while was our most watched episode.
yeah.
I think Anime Detour crossed it now.
Yeah.
Officially.
There's a couple that have crossed it.
That
but
crossed sausage
That
pizza.
one still gets the most consistent
Get
views. though,
random
just 'cause it's the
views.
first
video
one,
episode we
so-
had. Yeah, but we
Uh-huh.
really started expanding
Yeah.
like at that point. So
Mhm.
that was pretty cool. But episode 44, our second video episode,
Yeah.
Chicken Pot Die. And the premise of this one is chickens are on a farm and they meet their greatest challenge yet. You could tell I was in school because I just put that fucking
You're just so vague
description.
about
I was just like, yep, that works.
Yep.
Submit. I gotta get back to work here. But
yeah.
this premise, do you remember this episode?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
We were
Chicken-
just two chickens on a farm, and we were just kind of talking about chicken stuff, and then we were trying,
chicken stuff.
I mean, we're pretty much we were talking about the other chickens and just chicken life, man.
Yeah,
But we were trying to avoid getting butchered.
Oh yeah, and we hired a chicken hitman to murder the farmers.
Yes. Yep. We did, and so yeah, it was a very action-packed
That's a fun.
adventure.
That's a fun.
Yeah, I'd give it like a B.
You gave it a B. I'll give it a B. That's generous. I'll happily give it a B.
Next up, we got episode 45, A Spirit Halloween Story.
One of my personal favorite
this
first video episodes.
Yeah, this I felt like was a good upswing for us too, because we kind of were like a little bit of a lull just in the transition. And
Oh,
everything
yeah.
working with there,
We
and
just-
then it was like,
Pick back up with this one. This was fun.
yeah, this one
This is what made me buy a new computer, by the way.
really.
Yeah, editing this one was such a pain in the ass because your video shot at .mov, like your camera that you had,
Sure.
shot .mov, which I didn't understand was significantly bigger file size than MP4. But also, just I spent probably 3 hours trying to export this fucking.
I'm
episode.
sure.
It was
Yeah.
awful.
So with the Spirit Halloween story, 3 spirits of Halloween visit a very nice fellow to show him the problems of his generous ways. Which, yeah, I mean, it's the opposite of A Christmas Carol. It's Anthony was a business owner. who
Oh,
was
wait a
super
minute.
nice and generous.
Wait a minute. I'm misremembering this one because I was thinking of the Cordell episode. That's not
no,
Cordell.
That's, I think, a couple episodes later.
Oh, sheesh. All right. Well, that's embarrassing. Oh,
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
So A Spirit Halloween story, yeah, you're the very, very
That was a
nice
fun. That
business
was.
owner. Yeah, that was a
Okay.
good one.
I think that was really all right. I'd give it like a C+ for Spirit Halloween.
I give it a B. At least.
Okay.
I might
B tier.
B tier.
B tier. That was a fun one.
46, however.
What happened to 46?
It's on YouTube. It got missed when in the transition, so we'll have to re-upload it, the audio.
Sure.
But, it's Benjamin Baker and the legendary fifth tier. I don't remember a ton about that one. It was a baking episode, and I do remember we had like a big anime fight at the end of it.
Okay.
I don't know how it went. But it was like a bake-off, and it was like the legendary fifth tier of a cake that we were trying to make our way through.
Since I don't remember anything from it, I gotta give it C-.
I gave it a C-.
C-.
It was fun though because it was a cool action scene.
I'm sure.
Yeah. And then on to 47.
This is the one that was a bitch to edit and would get a new.
It's also our longest episode. I believe.
Yeah, this is an hour, over an hour and a half.
Yep.
But we were also just shooting the shit with Cordell.
That was so fun episode.
One of my favorite guests we've had on here. I love having Cordell here. But the premise here is 3 high school seniors have one last trick or treating adventure.
Last one.
And this is the big one before they got too old.
Yeah, I think we were 19 or we were 18, and because it was high school, so we were 18, and it was like, this is the last time we can do it, and everybody was like, no, you guys are definitely too old to do this at all.
To be doing
like
this.
for a while, you've been too old.
And we find like a murderer in a household or something.
It was like made out of like a scarecrow.
Yeah,
because
it was
there
like
was like straw,
thing.
and I remember. It was so much fun because we got to choose kind of what our costumes were.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember you were obsessed with Hamilton.
I remember that, and y'all hated it.
And I hate because you'd burst into song, and we would. I would
feel
yell
like,
at you,
please
especially.
stop.
But I was part Marvel superhero, part unicorn, part zombie was my character. So I kept trying to do the voice. That's right. And that was so much fun. And doing all of them at once to try and get my trick or treat down right. Mm-hmm. And it was just that was very fun.
That was great. That was good.
And just having Cordell on there, man, was a blast.
He's just hilarious.
That was hilarious.
He's an actual improv person too. I had just met Cordell like maybe 3 weeks prior to us recording this. I was scared that he and he did. He performed super well. It was awesome.
I would give that one personally. I'd give it an excellent.
An excellent?
I'd give it an excellent.
Excellent, Cordell. An excellent. All right. I'll throw in an excellent for you.
Yeah.
So then, moving on.
Episode 48. I think Earl is dead.
And the description for this one is...
Did Earl have to die, though? Dang, man. We did not try anything for that description.
No, we did not at all. But this episode, I thought it was really fun. But
it was fun.
Do you remember it?
I remember I was going to a funeral.
The premise here...
Yeah.
The premise, if I remember right, was we go to a funeral and the casket is... Like, it's a closed casket, I think. And we open the casket and it's empty. And we're like, what's going on? And it turns out there's a note, and we go on a scavenger hunt to find all the different body parts of Earl around the city to reanimate him or something like that.
Yeah.
That's basically it.
Yeah.
And we did. I remember being super fun.
It was a good time.
I'll have to rewatch it to see if I remember anything super awesome from it. But I just remember that bit and thinking it was fun and we had a good time. But I'm going to give it probably, since I don't remember anything, like a C+.
I'd give it a C+.
C+, since we just don't remember anything from it. And then... Episode 49. What do we have here? We have
golden toilet trees. A lumberjack accompanied by the Charmin bears learn the true meaning of magic.
Do you remember this premise?
Not right.
I remember it. I remember this one really well because I was the one who edited this.
Oh, sure.
And this is the point where I think we started video editing our episodes that we created because I was so annoyed because I had to not annoyed, but we had to so many different edits for this one here.
Did we?
I'm trying to remember if it was this one or not. Maybe not. Maybe that happened later. Now, I know there was a point where we started editing the episodes we did because there was something that I was like, Michael, if you're going to do this kind of episode, I'm not editing this to what you because there's so many things to do. It took me so long and I was still in school. But Golden Toilet Trees, episode 49, you played the Charmin Bear. So I played a lumberjack. You played my lumberjack boss or something like that. And we're about to hit the hay. And then I stumble upon a bear, a talking bear.
Yeah.
And it turns out it's the bear from the Charmin family.
Yeah.
And they're like, please stop cutting down the trees or something like that.
Yeah.
Because, like,
oh man, I do remember
home.
that. But there was like someone, the boss, I think, was behind the whole thing.
Yeah, the boss fires me because the boss wanted to make sure I was loyal to the lumber company.
So it was all a test.
That's what it was, yes. So I see this talking bear.
You wanted to
like,
save
you guys
the
are
bear?
so sweet. You know what? I'm going to probably try to change my ways. And then the boss takes the head off and goes,
I'm like,
you're fired. You don't have any loyalty to the lumberjack company. That was really good.
I'll give it
That
a
was
B.
my first VFX I did was I put a golden
Yes.
sparkly.
Yep,
for the
I remember
Charmin. Yeah,
I think I give it a B at least. I think
I give that an. That's a B plus for
a B
me.
plus.
That's a fun one.
We'll give it a B
We'll give
plus.
it a
That was a
B
really
plus.
fun episode. Yeah.
Episode 49. And now our last one for today, for part 1 of our tier list, is episode 50. What happens at holiday? Take it away.
What happens at holiday? I mean, it was our 50th episode, so it was a huge deal for us.
Big milestone.
Anthony came up with the premise here, and we were gas station attendants, Michelob and Belushi. And Anthony had returning customers such as like John made his comeback in here. The description is, join Michael and Anthony as they celebrate their 50th episode with a captivating story that delves into the world of mysterious customers, unexpected surprises, and the intriguing celebration of Hello Kitty nipple piercings and microdosing. So there was a lot going on here.
Yeah.
There's
a lot of stuff.
There's a robbery. We managed to thwart him by telling him investing in our startup would be more profitable than robbing us
because we have no money right now.
And
but if you invest in us,
he was like, and that was our startup was the sex store that Crispin and Aspen
eventually become.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So that's a good starting to tie things together.
Yeah.
I think that was a fun one. I'm giving it a B plus.
I'll give it a B plus. A fun episode, callbacks, but let's wrap her up.
We're wrapping this up at a B plus here. So
and it only gets better from here, I think.
Beautiful. So this is part 1 of our tier list series of all 99 episodes minus the missing episode.
Yeah.
But we have a couple bonus thrown in there too. Some bonus F tiers that we'll throw in next time. But
Absolutely.
With that being said, I want to say thank you very much for tuning into this tier list. Michael, any surprises? Where are we? I don't know where we're at with numbers, but we have, I think, 3 excellents, which is pretty huge, or 4 excellents, 3 or 4 excellents.
I don't know really off the top of my head.
Yeah.
I'll have to figure that out when we edit.
That's all good.
And get it in there. But doing pretty good so far, and I'm feeling good. And I think, I think maybe there's some bias in there because we really amped up our quality and our just the way we functioned after 50. But I feel like there's going to be a lot less C and D tier than a lot more.
I think so.
A's
we're going to have a lot
and
more A's and B's. Yeah, we're starting to find our stride. And also video and PowerPoint really started taking things up for us because we can help visualize and add some gags and jokes and make it more fun.
So I think I'm excited to get to some of these ones that we're going to be coming up on. But feeling good about where we're at right now.
Cool. Well, I got to say, thanks again for watching, everybody. We'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
Kisses.